Hmm. A very good morning to all of you. I am Professor Sonam Dubey, Assistant Professor in SIRT in Computer Science and Engineering. Now, today I am discussing about the CSS. When we design any website, so particular, there are three basic things, that is HTML, CSS and JavaScript are used. The HTML basically provide the structure of particular website, and the CSS basically provide the style and the various designs apply on the HTML pages. Now the CSS is a cascading style sheet, that is a particular language basically used for specifying the presentation and the styling of a document, which is basically written in a markup language, that is HTML, or it may be also XML. There are various markup languages like SVG, MathML, XHTML, which we can use in the various websites. Now, in the category of types, there are basically three types of CSS. The first one is embedded CSS, inline CSS and link CSS. The embedded CSS is nothing but a style rules when we apply within the HTML at the top of the web pages. And the inline CSS, the style rules variously appear throughout the HTML web pages. We can apply all over the HTML web page in the body part. And the last one is linked CSS. In the linked CSS, we generally style and we generally return the codes inside the CSS files and make a web pages. Now, when we briefly describe the CSS basically describe how HTML elements are to be displayed on the screen, paper or any websites. When HTML was created, the describe the content of a web pages, then we apply the style sheet to structure and to make a innovative web pages in the website. So this is the structure for the HTML web pages. It consists of the headers and paragraph. Now the header contain the heading part, in which it consists the various heading part like H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, H6. And in the paragraph section, we can write a paragraph in the opening and closing brackets. Now, structure of CSS. The CSS rules basically consist of two basic parts. The first one is selector and the second one is declaration. And the selector part, we can write different headings and paragraph section, and the declaration part we can include the various properties and its associated value. For example, in this one, when we write any styles in the particular HTML web page, we can start in the heading section. So in the heading section we are using the H1, and in the declaration part just open the curly bracket, then colors, colon, then blue. So here the colors describe the properties and the blue is shown the value of particular property. And the next part, font size colon 12px. So the font size is the property and 12px describe the value of that particular font size. So we can say the selector points to the HTML elements when we want to style our style sheet. And the declaration block contains one or more declarations separated by semicolons, and each declaration includes a CSS property name and its associated value. Now the basic CSS rule syntax. So starting with the selector, then open curly brackets, then property value 1, 2, 3, it will continue up to n. And in the next part we can see here, for example, P stand for paragraph, then open curly brackets, then font family and sans serif. So here the sans serif is nothing but a font family. And the next part is color, colon red. So color is the property and red is its value. So here we can show some examples also. Now the inline styles, the style attribute. Here we can see we can start with the paragraph, then starting the style equals to font family and color red. So inside the paragraph we can just write a line, this is a paragraph, and this is closed with a paragraph. So the output is, we can see this is a paragraph. And this is the example for embedding style sheet. Here we can see we can just write the style codes inside the head tag, and just starting with the style type and the close style. Now this is the third basic type of CSS file, that is linked CSS. In this section we can see here we can just write a code inside the head tag, just open head tag and close head tag, and inside this we can use the link href. So href just nothing but a resources and references where we can access our files from our system. So here href equals to file name, then type equals to text or CSS, and relation equals to style sheet. So this is the particular syntax for the attaching a CSS file. So here we can add the multiple style sheets files with these pages. Now CSS background images. When we set any background image in CSS or HTML file, so just we can use different types of values like top, right, bottom, left, enter, and any combination of the above. Suppose top and right, right and bottom, bottom and left, left or top, it may be any combination. So here the CSS background image property, it basically consists of the syntax like it is started with the body tag, then background image colon URL paper.gif. That means it just reference the particular images picked from the URL, and the background color is set is it is hexadecimal code. So there are in the property of CSS in color code we can use the several types of color codes like RGB, hex, that is hexadecimal value, then HSV, hue saturation value, and RGBA, that is red, green, blue with alpha channel, and HSVA, that is hue saturation value with the alpha channel. So here we can use a hexadecimal value. Now so in this type, when we are saving the CSS file, that file name extension is .css. So this is the internet media type of text/CSS. It is basically developed by the World Wide Web Consortium in W3C. And the release date of this is the 17th December 1996. So there are totally 3 versions are already come, that is CSS1, CSS2 and CSS3. So it basically consists of the file format type is the style sheet languages. Now the CSS basically specifications provided and maintained by the W3C, and it basically support many of the browser. Like CSS basically consists of Google Chrome and Mozilla, Fox Pro, like this. After that, there are so many advantages of CSS. When we see the advantage of CSS, we can see here is a lot of accessibility. That means there are most of the browsers supported by the CSS. When we open and when we create some style sheets in the website or web pages, it can easily accessible by any browser. So this is the very plus point for CSS. Okay, now thank you.